Hey there, you, me, and DC fans, and welcome if you are new. I am the stepson of Krypton,
And I Mantis.
and today we are bringing you, hopefully, what will be a short video about James Gunn. Obviously, we know the filming of Superman has wrapped. He has stated that he believes there will be no reshoots. Now, this comes as quite the contrast to what we know about a particular subject we've done several videos on, which is Captain America 4, A Brave New World, and basically reshooting the whole movie. So, we're going to get into it. Mantis is absolutely correct. So, I don't want to waste any more time because I don't want to drone on for you. Let's go ahead and get on into the video. All right, guys. So, Superman has wrapped filming, and James Gunn has expressed that he does not believe there is going to be any reshoots. Now, we were going to bring this video out to you a little while ago, but we had to do some reshoots, so it took a little bit longer to get out than we were hoping for. But we had to reshoot a couple of things. James Gunn does not feel that particular way. So, Mantis, I want to get your thoughts on it because I have my own particular thoughts. When I hear no reshoots or the belief that there's no reshoots, I have my own certain thoughts on it. I want to get your thoughts. When you hear that a movie doesn't have to do reshoots, what's going through your head?
I don't believe it at all. I'm not saying that he's lying because he says there shouldn't be, right? Obviously, no one plans to do reshoots. Like, if you are, then you just shouldn't be directing or leading any project like that. You should strive that there's no reshoots. But as we know, because we're going to probably get into talking to why Brave New World has done reshoots. Um, you think it looks good from behind the camera and you're on set, it may look a particular way. And then when you see it, in post or in playback, you're like, that didn't work. Or somebody goes and beats the shit out of their girlfriend or wife. So you have to completely reshoot that. Like, there's things that happen in real life that may need to be redone. So,
I have
so
no idea who he's talking about.
yeah, those things can happen. So, shouldn't is a good word to use there. He chose his word carefully when he said that. But hopefully he's right. Maybe, hopefully that they don't have to do any of that nonsense and do any reshoots, especially of the type that they would need to do like in the middle of the city. Because again, they didn't use particular. I mean, I'm sure they have green screen in this movie. If we're talking about the Superman movie, I'm sure they do. But also, there are a lot of live shots done in the middle of Cleveland, obviously, in Atlanta too. Some in Atlanta. So it's like, having to reset that up, re-get permits again, go set all that up is just, it costs so much money.
Well, I mean, obviously those deals when you're working with the cities and they're agreeing to shut down, blocks of their cities.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not an easy thing to do. That's a long process. So, like, I feel like the interesting thing is this is James Gunn's longest filming project, and it was about from what, February 29th to July 30th. So, we think about that. Okay, so that's basically, all of March, April, May, June, and basically all of July.
Mm-hmm.
So you're talking 5 months of shooting principal photography, right? Whereas if we go over to the other one we mentioned when we're talking about A Brave New World, Captain America 4, A Brave New World, they only did 3 months in the beginning, right? And with 5 months being James Gunn's largest project, that means, as far as length of time shooting, means Guardians of the Galaxy, all of those, none of them went, close to, or, at least hit the 5 month mark, right? So, like, that means, like, okay, did you do a lot of takes? And so you got it right. Again, I didn't like that one. We'll do another take. We'll do another take on it. Plus, you kind of spend a lot of time in that setting. You start to realize, you know what? Like, I thought at first that looked good, and now I realize it doesn't. Because I have done that as just editing our channel, where I'm like, and I've yelled at Mantis about it because I'm like, why didn't you tell me that looks stupid? Because, like, there are things that I edited months ago that when I go back and look, I'm like, holy fuck, did I really do that? So with a 5 month schedule, I gotta imagine, as you kind of like broached. Now, granted, they had to go to multiple locations, but you start kind of looking and saying,
That's the thing.
hey, is this working, right? And also the idea that you came up with, right? Like the plan that you had for the movie, because the reality is, you know, questionable suits aside, James Gunn had a
Yeah.
plan for what he's doing with the Superman movie. Whereas with Captain America, Brave New World, it bombed with test audiences. So basically, they have done more. They've spent more time in reshoots than the original principal photography. It's over 3 months, right?
That's wild. It's so wild. They shot basically 2 movies.
It, basically, yeah, they shot the movie, said, "Oh, nobody that they showed it to liked it. We're going to basically reshoot another movie and maybe throw Harrison Ford in there because he wanted a paycheck." And that's not like being a diss on Harrison Ford. He literally literally said in interviews he's there for the Marvel money, right? Because it's Disney.
Yeah. He's not dumb. Yeah, I like Harrison Ford for his honesty. It's funny. I mean, you're right too. Like directors and whatnot in suits think something looks good or sounds good. You know, Kathleen Kennedy thinks something sounds good. Even critics think something sounds good.
Fuck baby, did put a chicken in, make her gay.
Yeah, and then when it gets on TV or on the screen and people watch it, they're like, "No, this is absolute dog crap," and no one likes it. Well, you have 2 choices. You can either go change it, or you can keep pushing it and double down and say, "No, you're all wrong." You know, and in this case, it looks like Marvel decided to change it, so it cost them an assload of money.
Well, and we've kind of seen that on let's if we bring it back to the DC side, we've kind of seen that when obviously with the original Justice League was Zack Snyder's baby. We've mentioned many times why he had to drop out of the Justice League project. Everything that happened with his daughter was very tragic. So Joss Whedon had, who directed the original Avengers movie, he stepped into the role to finish it up. And so when you look at that movie that was put out versus the Snyder cut of the Justice League, they're 2 completely different movies, right? And audiences responded not so positively to the Joss Whedon cut versus the Snyder cut, right? And it's kind of the same thing with Captain America 4 here. Here's your original, here's your Joss Whedon cut, and here's your Snyder cut, of that. Yeah. Just saying is that basically they were almost 2 completely different movies. And it kind of shows you how, like you go in this direction, you think this is going to work. And I feel like Marvel is trying to work on focusing on what the audience is, hence why you did your testing and you basically reshot a new movie because they want to stop losing money,
Yeah. Kevin Feige even said, like, I believe it was an interview or whatever. He was like, we're changing the way we approach things because clearly is not working with, and I'm sure he's talking about what happened in phase 4 and 3 or whatever of Marvel Studios and it's like, okay, finally someone is listening to what people are saying. People, finally, maybe it's starting to hit them in their the pocketbook, area. Yeah. So, and again,
too much red on that ledger.
Yeah, and I mean, if you look around, like right now specifically, of all the companies in the entertainment business doing layoffs. Like, I mean, I just saw, was it yesterday? Paramount is gone. Like the Paramount Plus or whatever, that's gone. They're not doing anything. Like a Reacher. What was the other one? Reacher, Time Bandits, and something else will still be. They'll still have those shows. They're moving those to CBS Studios. So
wait, Reacher's Amazon Prime.
Yeah, but I think it was shot via the Paramount Studios or something like that.
Oh, okay, like, gotcha. I thought Amazon had bought up that property.
They laid off all of those people. Yeah, it's like people. You got to understand right now. It's like, this is why when we were talking about in a previous video about how well Deadpool and Wolverine did. It's like, that's a crazy amount because of where we're at right now and people's, what do you call it? Their fungible, their expendable money that they have that, is very limited. What was the word you used before that?
Did you say fungible?
Yeah. Is that not right? I don't know.
Fungible.
I can make up words. Their
You, sir, are
the
a
money
Festizio. See, I can make up words too.
Wait a minute. Brian, you have a pre-existing relationship with this degenerate?
A degenerate, am I? Well, you are a Festizio. See? I can make up words too, sister.
Yeah, it's the money that they have to just blow on stuff. Like it's they don't people like I don't have money to do something. I'm about to cancel my YouTube TV because it's just too expensive now with everything. So like it's just what's happening, and maybe it's getting to that point for Marvel. Maybe not for Disney, because we talked about previously. It's like, what I read was Disney is a separately, they allocate their how they run things differently, like how Marvel Studios run things and how Star Wars Lucasfilm runs things is completely different. They have they're independent.
Bob Iger had stepped in, and he has kind of laid, he has put his foot down and said, again, releasing three movies a year to show, like, cutting it back, right? And I feel like he owns the property. I feel like it's the Black Widow thing. He's sitting there like, I got red in my ledger. I'm trying to wipe it out, from the original fucking Avengers movie.
I got red in my ledger. I'd like to wipe it out.
With Black Widow, when she talks, I got red in my ledger. That's Bob Iger, right? He's got red in his ledger, and he's trying to wipe it out, right? This was all fun for a little bit, but dude, like, you're losing billions, right?
Yeah,
versus
he may say that.
Wolverine shows you, if you do what the fans like, you make money. Now,
yeah,
it's interesting because if we look at the top 10 biggest movies as far as budget wise, as far as movies that cost the most to make, what is it? 8 of them are owned by Disney, or properties that are now owned by Disney. They may not have owned them when they came out, but
they do now.
Actually, I'm pretty sure they do now, because realistically, you've got like Jurassic World and the Fast and Furious series are like the only two that are in there that Disney didn't own of the top 10, right? And of the top 10 that were most expensive, not all of them were money makers for them, or at least recoup what they spent. And that's kind of been the trend with Disney here lately, is you're spending hundreds of millions of dollars on things and you're barely recouping your money. Sometimes not even recouping your money.
I mean, we talked about it a couple days ago. This has nothing to do with Disney or anything, but like the Borderlands film is just like,
oh my god,
bad.
Like, dude, that's heartbreaking, but it's not unexpected. We did a video, so ironically, we did a video that was movies, or was it movies to games?
I don't even know now.
I think it was games to movies. I think it was games to movies. Either way, so we did movies to games, and we did games to movies, but we only released one. The other one is still sitting in our inbox, ready to be released. But where we had talked about Borderlands coming up,
we did, yeah.
Because both of them were shot almost. I mean, they were shot literally at the end of 2023. I just haven't released the other one. So, to be fair, the first one didn't do great because you guys don't like us talking about games a lot. But with that one, I mean, that was a huge financial loss. I mean, it was a massive flop, right? And it's like,
it's not.
Go ahead.
I was just saying, I don't even think they spent that much on it. Like, it's not like they spent a lot. It's just that no one is going and seeing it. Like, nobody. And when you look at this Captain America 4, you have in here its reported budget of $375 million for a movie. There's no way. I don't care how good it is. I don't know if they're going to make that back. I just don't know. Maybe they get close.
So Borderlands was $120 million to produce and $30 million. So $150 on marketing and advertising. So $150 million. They got like $8 million on their opening weekend. There's no way they're. Put it in contrast, Deadpool and Wolverine did over 200 something million domestic on their opening weekend, right?
Yeah,
I say domestically, 200 million gross on their opening weekend.
God.
They aren't. worldwide. They aren't going to. Borderlands is not making back what it spent. I actually read an article that said that the box set of it for on Amazon, they've already reduced the price and it's not even out yet. That's just how bad it's done. But that's the thing. So Captain America has been a very, very popular franchise. But if it costs you $400 million to produce, and let alone marketing and everything else like that, that movie's got to gross well over $1 billion. It's got to be the most successful Captain America for you really to start getting into the green, right? Like, or especially into the realm. Go ahead.
What was the last? How much? Not Deadpool Wolverine. The last Marvel movie before that. What did it make? I don't even know what it was.
The Marvels, I would say, probably, right?
Okay. I don't know, but I know that didn't even come close to 400 million. So
the Marvels worldwide 206 million. It cost more than that to produce the movie.
Yeah, so you're telling me that this next Marvel movie, and although, like you said, Captain America may be the most popular one aside from the Avengers, like you're telling me it's going to double this next movie? I just don't see it. I don't see it. It's not Deadpool Wolverine. It's not going to pull that number. There's no way.
So
I just can't see it.
Now, we're talking years ago, so maybe things have changed or whatever, but I feel like actually that are worse now because people have less disposable income. Captain America Winter Soldier, that is heralded by many people as being one of the best movies in the MCU. I think it is top tier MCU. We did a video a while back where we ranked the first 3 phases. Most of you didn't watch. I mean,
you can now. Though you can still watch it.
Did not watch that video.
Go watch the video. We'll link it.
I will link it actually this time, and I'll have it bouncing around the screen somewhere. But that movie only did 714 million worldwide, and that is heralded as one of the best. Now, obviously, in game Infinity War is different, but as far as single Marvel or single MCU movies, everybody, even the guys at CinemaSins and all that, they love that movie. I mean, top tier for me. Top tier. I'm not saying it's the best. I'm saying it's top tier for me. Did 714 million. Now, by the time you add marketing, your Captain America 4 has to beat that to even be barely profitable.
I just don't see it. Happening. Could be wrong. I mean, I'll tell you, Harrison Ford ain't going to bring that money in. Not now. He ain't going to bring that money in. And neither is, who are the big names in this film?
I mean, Anthony Mackie, Harrison Ford's probably the biggest name in there.
Yeah, he's not going to, no, it ain't happening. It ain't happening. It's not going to happen.
So, and think about this. Winter Soldier had a budget of 170 million, right?
Yeah.
You have more than doubled that budget.
Yeah. How long is this movie? Did they say the running time of it? Of the Brave New World?
I don't know that official runtime has been released.
I'm just curious. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter. Yeah, I just was curious because it's like I said, it's 2 movies. If you think of the single movie of Winter Soldier, and that cost them 170 million or whatever you said to make. This is this is 3 times that, 4 times it, 3 times
170 million. So I mean, if you double that, you're what?
Little more than
340.
Double. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know, man. It sucks, and it's like you said, you don't know until you get it in front of a test audience, and I think this is why Kevin Feige was saying we're gonna change up the way we do things. We're gonna change up, and I don't know when this, if this was already done. And as soon as they saw the test audience hated it, they were like, okay, we need to switch up how this is. So we're reshooting this. And that's why they're doing it. Because they didn't do it with Marvels. They just let that garbage release. And look what happened. I think hopefully maybe the pendulum is swinging back and the winds are changing, and I don't know. It's too early. It's a waiting game.
So it's funny because we did a previous video about the Fantastic Four, right? How that movie is supposed to release next year, 2 weeks after Superman. And it was literally July 29th or July 30th that they just started principal photography. And we had just said that, hey, the movie releasing 2 weeks earlier is just wrapped photography, right? So it's interesting that this movie that is supposed to supposedly, now, as Mantis had said in the previous video, it more than likely will get pushed back, but it's supposed to, and you just started principal photography on it, right? Whereas with Captain America, that filming started in March of 23, literally a year before Superman, wrapped in June, and then principal, before. And now obviously you're doing over a month before, and all this stuff. And it's only going to release about 5 months ahead of Superman, assuming Superman also doesn't get pushed back. But with no reshoots,
look,
it's going to be at this point, right?
I mean, I question it sometimes. It's like, because we were joking about, like, how can they continue to make this shit and the bigwigs, the people in the board put up with this? It's like, well, maybe they're just laundering their money and it like that's how they're washing it. I don't know. Like,
conceal the source of money as by channeling it through an intermediary.
Otherwise, it makes no common sense. Like, if you're a business owner and you continually put money into a product that loses you money, what are you doing? Like, as that's business 101. If you're losing money on it and you're not gaining any benefit to your company, then why,
if anything,
why
you're
are you
hindering
doing it?
Right? Like,
yeah,
you're putting this negative connotation on your company, right? People don't want to go see Marvel movies. Now Deadpool and Wolverine changed that a bit. But
yeah, this is why I think, with like switching up to like Lucasfilm and Kathleen Kennedy, this is why I think for them it's more important of their posturizing messaging. Like, they don't give a fuck they don't care about Star Wars. They don't care about making money. All they care about is their messaging. It's girl power, white man, and Quinn Suarch are bad, because we have to have that in this video.
I couldn't help but notice that Quinn Suarch part. Did you just refer to me as White Devil? This how they knew you. Leave that part out from now on.
They're bad.
Put a chicken and make her gay.
Like Indiana Jones, put a chicken in it and make her name it gay.
That needs to be in there. Yeah, I mean, all that's all they care about. It has to be. That's why. Because otherwise, why would you keep losing money?
Why would you destroy a franchise? Probably the most famous and most popular franchise in history is Star Wars, the Star Wars franchise, and you have destroyed it.
Yeah, I know they're not making. Some people may say, well, that what they're doing in there maybe helps bring more people into the parks, because they're making we made a new section for Rey or whatever. It's like, you can't tell me that you're making that difference up in your parks. I know they make an assload of money, but I feel like that's getting to a point now where it's like, do you know how much it costs to go to Disney World? It's wild. It's wild how much it costs. Like, there's no way.
We're sitting here talking about how much we had to pay to go see Deadpool and Wolverine. Let alone, I mean, for the average Joe, because that's what we are, right? We work, full-time jobs, right? I was like, fuck, man, this is expensive, but it's a good
$17? Like, holy fuck, man. Like, that's a lot of money to see.
I know
a 2-hour movie.
Like, I know, but it works. Like, dude, he's taking his family for, like, I think it was like 4 days or something like that to Disney World. That was over $5,000. I'm like, holy fuck. I was like, I've never been, don't really care to. It's not my thing. I'm a single guy with no kids. Like, it'd be weird for me just to go to Disneyland or Disney World.
People do that. They're called
predators.
PDFs.
They're called predators.
On Chris Hansen.
I am one of those. So like, it's a but like, that's a lot of fucking money that the average family, I feel like right now where we're at, it just can't afford. Right?
No.
So it's like, why? Okay, that's cool. You have that, but how much money did you lose on your movies? How much fan base did you lose? Because right now, I love Star Wars, right? But I don't care to see anything they put out. right now. I don't even. I'm not even like. I canceled my Disney Plus subscription just because everything that's good on there I own. So I'm like, I don't need you. Like,
Yeah, and anything new is shit.
Yeah, it's
so
shit.
like I don't want to watch it. Yeah.
So like I don't need Disney Plus. Whatever. Like, and I'm not excited. I don't even care to check out. I'll look at some of the like when the Acolyte came out. I'm like, who fucking cares? And what I thought about why I didn't even want to look at it turned out to be true. Right?
True, exactly.
You're staying true to that shit form. So, like, okay, you're losing Star Wars fans. We're the ones that cared about, we're the ones that fucking stood in line for several days to get tickets to go see your damn movies, and this is what you did to us.
Yeah, now when I go see Deadpool Wolverine again, love the movie. I thought it was worth seeing once, obviously, but I pay $17, which included a convenience fee, taxes, another fee for I'd have to pull up my receipt, but there was another like $2 fee that they charge you. You have to pay an extra because it's not matinee, so you got to pay extra money for that. And you were talking about a family. Like if I had a family of 4 to go see a movie, not what Deadpool, let's say it's an animated movie in the movie theater.
Some Pixar.
Let's say let's say it's the new Snow White film that they're going to release here that's going to bomb too. Let's say it's that. If I have a family of 4 and we, dare I say, get some popcorn and a drink, I'm gonna especially it's for everyone, dude. I'm well over $150 easy. Like it's wild. That's wild for a night out to watch a film like at a theater. Nope. It better be damn good.
Dollar theater with $2 for a drink and like $3 for a popcorn. Like I'm out for like $8, right? Like that's what I'm used to. Obviously not on the big movies, but once because we used to go see things.
I don't know
in theaters.
Let us know in the comments. Like, did you guys have dollar theaters where everyone lived or whatever? Like we had, like you were saying, we had one that. It was after the movie went through the normal theater and it was out of there. Then the dollar theater bought the film. And
you're not seeing a brand new movie for $1. Obviously, I'm not saying that, but like it was one of those because you love the movies, so you saw them multiple times. Plus, it was cool time to go hang with friends, or if you took a date or whatever. Now, if you took a date on a dollar movie, you might not have a second. But back then, I think you could get away with it if it wasn't a first date.
The type of girl that you go with to the dollar theater, maybe not one that
things are happening once the movie starts, right? And the lights go down, right? That's why you went there on that, right? That was your own, but that's a whole different video that we can't do on YouTube. So, all right, guys, that's kind of the final thoughts on that here. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up before this gets way off the rails on that. But, let us know down in the comments on this how you feel about, like, movies doing reshoots. Is it a good sign? How do you feel about like a movie like Captain America? Literally, basically, they've spent more time in reshoots than they have in principal photography. Is that poor planning? Is that obviously there's been some negative, results from test audiences? Maybe James Gunn's just saying, fuck it, I don't care what anybody thinks. We're not going to reshoot. I'm going to run with this vision. I know there's been, some questionable decisions. So we definitely like to hear your opinions on this here, because it was interesting that a movie, a new movie that is rebirthing a franchise, had 5 months, so it had almost double. I say almost double. It had almost double of principal photography, but with no reshoots versus something like an established universe of Captain America. Granted, you are changing Cap, but in essence, your MCU is already established, and you doubled that. And God knows, tripled the fucking cost of it. What are your guys' thoughts on that? Is that a good or bad sign?
Yeah, let us know. My final thoughts here, definitely, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing in this case, just based on what Kevin Feige has said and, the rumors of them cleaning house with a lot of the activist writers and stuff. So, to me, both of those things coinciding at the same time makes me think that they made a good decision on this. Not saying the movie's going to be great. I'm just saying maybe it's going to be better than the trash heap it could have been.
That's where I agree with you. Right. I can't say I don't have hope right now. this isn't a New Hope, right? Like we're not there.
No,
I don't have hope
been
that
done
it is,
specially.
but I believe, but I do agree with you, right? I think it is going to be leagues better than the trash they were going to probably release.
Yeah. And James Gunn, who knows? Like maybe they maybe they decided to pack their reshoots all together at the beginning. I don't know. Who knows?
So we did have a comment on the James Gunn Is He Making Mistakes video that actually it literally was like a day ago from the time of recording this, that said, I felt Mr. Gunn was a spy for Marvel from when I heard he was coming to the coming to DC, right? And we'd mentioned that in a video, like we're a couple of times in some videos, like is he like really like is he a Marvel plant, right? And I agree with that, right? I'm like, I don't think you're wrong. Like there are things that are kind of like get me worried, but I don't think you're wrong there, sir or ma'am. Judging by the name, I must say sir, if not I apologize. But so with that, based off of that, yeah, I don't. God only knows. So, like, hey, do your thing. If you have made it with us this far, we definitely appreciate it. Consider giving this video a like. Ooh, switching it up. All right, right over my face. He showed you where to hit the like button, or at least the subset of where to hit the like button. Yeah. And subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our videos where we break down all this craziness that's going on, because we got a lot happening in both Marvel and DC, right? And then commenting down below. Again, we want interaction. We want to know your opinions on this, because this is just, our thoughts on this, right? They may be wrong, they may be right, they may be crazy. Yours might be wrong, yours might be right, yours might be crazy. It doesn't matter, right? Your opinions are valid, just like ours. Song? Possibly.
Sorry.
Maybe. I'll look it up. I'll have it in a poster. I can't play more than like 8 seconds. They'll fucking flag the video because music industry is terrible. Anyway. But let us know, like, kind of like what your thoughts are on that. And does that make you feel better that James Gunn has taken this being his longest filming project with no reshoots, or do you think maybe he's just trying to like slide some stuff in there and then just get it out there, and then God only knows what happens? So be curious to hear you guys' thoughts on that, especially also with the Captain America stuff. Mantis, what do you got?
No, yeah, I pretty much said everything. So,
all right, great close. So, all right, guys, that's going to wrap it for us here on this episode of You, Me, and DC. Until next time, we will see you then.
Later.